What it do, what it is, it's your boy P to the E back up in this bitch. With birds of a feather, the crew, we all here Thursday night. Game on behind everybody. You're watching in front of them, on the side of them. We've seen some things, some injuries go down. We're brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie, sandwiches, cutlets, and what I say, boys, balls of the meat. Mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. Get into this intro, live game reaction, and no huddle tonight. Let's go.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! He's flying!
Oh, come in. It's almost time.
What up, people? How we feeling, Jake, PY?
Good.
Charles Kent. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I've never seen you.
I've had glasses on the show before. Remember?
Really?
Remember when it was like the first show with
41?
me?
I don't remember.
Everyone had glasses except for me. I was like, wait, hold on. And so I put on the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You old, man. You old.
I did honestly forget. Contacts not working today?
I don't wear contacts.
Oh, so you just wear glasses when the eyes get too bad. Okay.
I wear glasses when I have to like watch TV, like from afar. Hence,
PY, man.
Yeah.
You've been dedicated today. You went to a wedding. Now you're here. Little Nick Foles animosity. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. It was a fun day. Short wedding. Thank God.
Oh yeah. We didn't think you were gonna be here.
The total wedding we were there for we got there at what was it? Like 2:30 and it started at 3:10. It was over by like 3:40. And then we went straight to the reception and that was done by 6. So
My type of wedding, brother.
that was a fantastic wedding. Less than
early
wedding.
wedding. Yeah.
That ain't my type of wedding. I want a reception that goes on for like 6 hours. That's like
Of course you do.
Here's the thing. If you're there partying all night and you don't have anywhere else to go, yes.
Jake, aka the Beach Bum with the Carolina Blue Tar Heels. I like it.
Yes, sir.
What is going on, sir?
Nothing much. A little preseason football. Can't complain.
Yes, sir. So when are we going to get the live feed from you doing the show in an empty house? Because you have no other belongings.
I still have some things to get done at the house, so hopefully within like a month or so. But we will see.
It's going to be Jake in a fucking room. Share. This is all
It'll be
I
like
own.
a New York. It'll be like a New York apartment where it's like 5 by 5 walls. You're like, yeah, this is it. This is my life now.
Just like Gilmore Girls.
Here we are.
oh my God.
Literally just like a bed.
It's going to be a short, concise show tonight, fam. We get talked about a little bit in the lead-in. Poll question of tonight, if we could put that up. Where are we at? Yes.
I got it.
Eli Ricks will make the 53-man roster. Agree or disagree? Chucks, I'm going to go to you first.
I'm gonna. It's tough because you have. Let's break it down. So when you look at the Eagles depth chart, right? You've got obviously the top 3 are going to be Slay, Bradbury, and Maddox, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and then you'd assume obviously Keely Ringo is going to be another one. So that's 4 off the bat because they're not going to cut Keely Ringo. They spent a 3rd round pick on him. And yes, I know he's a 4th round pick. I'm saying they spent a 3rd round pick. They traded for him. So anyone that wants to correct me, they spent a 3rd round pick. So it's 4 corners right off the bat. So how many are you going to keep? You're going to keep 6 or 7?
Probably
So
6.
You've got those 4. That leaves Mario Goodrich, McKee Gardner, Eli Ricks, Greedy Williams, Josh Jobe, all 5 of them to compete for that spot. So Zach McPherson too. Sorry.
Yeah, he's
so, I did see that his injury is considered serious. So who knows if he's out of that spot or not. But yeah, Goodrich, as we've seen in these 2 games so far, he's been very consistent. He's been playing solid. And then Keelan Ringo shows why he's a rookie, shows why he kind of fell, but he's going to make the team. Greedy Williams has been bad. Eli Ricks, though, last week, we saw what he can do. We saw why he was at one point considered a first-round talent until this past season in Alabama. So are you going to risk cutting him and then trying to risk losing him to another team's practice squad or another team's roster to pick him up, knowing that talent is there? Ultimately, I think if I'm gun in my head, I'm going to say he makes a roster. So I'll agree to the poll, but it's tough to say because there are other corners who are making case for themselves, like Mario Goodrich. So, yeah, I'll say agree.
Jay, what say you?
It's tough because Chuck's hit the nail on the head when you talk about the depth. And who thought just 3, 4, 5 years ago when our cornerbacks were Byron Maxwell and whoever else, we'd have the depth that we have now at corner. I mean, it's tough because what'd you say, Chucks? It's 4 spots that are basically locked up. You have Slay, Bradbury, Maddox, Ringo. It's tough. Yeah, McPherson maybe depending on what his injury is, but theoretically they'll have like maybe 5, 6 corners. I mean, if he can build off what he did in the first preseason game, then I'd say yes, absolutely. But the talent's there. The talent's there when you talk about Eli Ricks. When he was at LSU, he was really good, and when he was at Alabama last year, he didn't give up a touchdown in I think 200 some snaps last year. But the fact that he went undrafted just in and of itself is insane, just with how talented he is. But again, it's a matter of, like I said, if he can continue to build off his preseason performance against the Ravens last week, and we're just really starting the second half here. So maybe he makes another pick 6 or another big play here. So we'll see.
Who's on impromptu? Who's on the card?
Tyree Cleveland, the wide receiver. He went for a catch by McKee, and he just landed hard, I guess, or landed the wrong way.
I need preseason over tomorrow. Like, too many injuries, man.
Yeah, there's been a lot of injuries tonight, but luckily a lot of them are fine. Hopefully McKee's or Cleveland's okay. But just to wrap up the poll, if he can, like I said, if he can continue to build off what he did last week and continue to show flashes of his talent, then I don't see why he can't make the team. I'll agree with the poll.
Okay. PY.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Like, the talent is there. Like, this guy was expected to be a first-round pick a few months ago. Obviously, things happen, and he somehow went undrafted. But, like, the fact that you were able to get this guy is a diamond in the rough. Like, he is a star in the making. Like, I love our starting 3, obviously, but, like, McPherson could be gone for the most of the season, depending on the injury. Ringo, I think they might redshirt him just because he's just so raw. And the only other guy you could argue maybe making the team over him is Josh Jobe, and he's primarily like a special teams guy. So,
right,
yeah, I love Ricks. Like, I lost my mind when they were able to sign him as an undrafted free agent. There's nothing I want more on this team than him. Imagine telling yourself a year ago that you're going to get Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith in the same year.
Yeah, nah, it's good. I mean, and I was serious in our chat when I saw the injury to McPherson. I was like, this kind of changes the poll question a little bit. You know,
yeah, a little bit. Yep.
I think it kind of solidifies his Ricks' spot if Zach is going to miss significant time, and then it really comes down to, are you going to keep Greedy Williams over Josh Jobe? You know what I mean? I think that's going to be the fifth spot, because I mean, Greedy has been so bad. The talent is, we all love the talent, right? But we haven't seen it, you know. So for Greedy, it's like next week is it. But I think Ricks, if he has a decent showing tonight, because you know how he's going to trust in he's going to trust in Ringo. He's going to trust in his picks. I think I have to agree with the poll. Now, before tonight, I would have said it would have been fringy, right? Because I think McPherson would have had his spot locked up. So your top four would have been Maddox, Bradbury, Slay, and Job. I mean, not Job, McPherson. But now with McPherson going down, they could play with the injury spot that they have for him, because it does look like he's going to miss a significant time. That definitely opens the spot up for Ringo. I mean, not Ringo. Why keep saying Ricks? Too many fucking similar names. it's too many.
Mm-hmm.
There's no delineation whatsoever. But I would have to agree. So for the poll, I mean, that kind of wraps that up, fam. Let us know if you agree, you disagree. If Ricks is going to make the 53-man roster, give another spot up poll, right? After what we've seen so far in this game. Does Tanner McKee deserve to be the backup quarterback? Tanner McKee deserves to be the backup quarterback. Agree or disagree?
Tanner.
I pulled up Mariota's contract. They're only into him for $1.1 million. But his dead cap hit is $5 million.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Boy.
I would have to, so far through 2 games, I would have to agree to the poll.
Mm-hmm.
I think McKee's definitely going to make the roster as the third quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, at this point, yeah.
But somebody brought it up already, where Mariota's heart doesn't seem like it's in football anymore. Like, I mean, some of these throws are just so bad, bro.
That's a really interesting phrase that you use there, Pete, because like now that you said that and I'm thinking about it, you're not wrong. And especially now that we have had the what do you call it, the QB documentary on Netflix, it kind of makes you think a little bit. Like, I don't know. Like it looks like he's kind of just going through the motions.
Yeah, like
Maybe
he's just
I'm
out
wrong,
there
but...
to be out there.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why did we pay this dude that $5 million if we could have signed Tanner McKee?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, let's be honest, right? I understand we put his day came up in the green room earlier. I understand we've had our good luck and good fortune with backup quarterbacks here in this on this team or in this organization. Some names have already came up, one that has a statue outside the link. But with that being said, if they would have trusted that, right, and they trusted that they can develop quarterbacks, I think that $5 million could be invested elsewhere. Better right now from what I've seen through 6 quarters of preseason football. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, like, that $5 million for Mariota right now isn't looking like the wisest investment.
It's not. It's not. So
I'll counter that. Like, what's the last quarterback they drafted that wasn't Foles? Or no, that wasn't Hurts. Think about that. Think about a later round quarterback that they drafted.
Yeah, but they all look horrible.
Foles.
Yeah, they've all looked bad.
Clayton Thurston, man. That was the last time they tried.
You talking about one that actually worked out?
No. I'm talking about, because you're saying that you expect them to develop like a later round guy. Like,
right.
That's a hard thing to do. Like Hurts was a second round pick. Like they clearly believed in him enough to take him that high.
Right.
Like I don't like McKee is playing better. He 100% is. But with the cap hit and the way Mariota plays, as opposed to McKee, who's just a statue. Like, I'm not saying he's not good. I think he is. Right. But give Mariota the full O-line, give him the weapons. I'm not saying he's anywhere close to Jalen, but I think you would get a better result as opposed to what you're getting right now.
I hear you, but my only caveat to that is even with that being said, at some point, throws have to be somewhat on point, somewhat on target.
Hey, the Brown twins.
What we've seen so far, it has not been that. No, so I'm almost interested I'm gonna look up what Minshew contract is, because at this point, I think it was more Minshew wanted to leave.
Yes, he wanted to start.
He gets similar money, and he's not even starting. Like,
he thought he was going to have a chance.
He signed a 1 year, 3.5. I would much rather have that.
Yeah,
I mean, right now, yeah.
In hindsight, yes, I get it. But even if, as soon as he probably saw Richardson throw in that first OTA, it's like, nah, fam.
Yeah, I just think with the way we run the RPO offense, I think Mariota just makes too much sense. And I understand why they went after him.
Yeah.
I think that realistically, Mariota is going to be the backup because he's a vet, and you have to. It's almost like he's going to be the backup by default.
Yep.
Because he's the only vet. You know what I mean? And if you're in a pinch where you need someone to start a game or two, you got to trust the vet because he's been there before, he's done it, and like he's not the stage isn't going to be too big for him. The game's not going to be too fast for him. Like Tanner McKee going up against these second and third stringers is going to be a lot different than him going against starters. And so, you put McKee in there during a regular season game, which you have to win. It's going to be an adjustment for him because it's an adjustment for all rookies, especially quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So by default, like Mariota is going to be the backup, but like, can we not compare McKee to Thorson and say like, oh, that's the reason why McKee's not going to be anything? Like, let's not go that far.
I'm not referring to him.
You could really, really, really tell the difference already in the two.
100%.
I think that 100%. So like, and a lot of draft people who watch Thorson and watch McKee, like everyone hated the Thorson pick. The McKee pick, people didn't understand it, but only from a stylistic standpoint. It wasn't because McKee wasn't a decent prospect. So I think that you have to look at it like McKee has shown that, if anything so far, he looks to be the backup of the future. Like he's going to be groomed to be the Eagles' backup. But the only reason why he's not going to be that now is because he's a rookie. That's
and I think Mariota's contract.
I don't think the contract's going to bear any weight. I don't think there's much weight. Yeah,
and I just want to preface, we hope that we don't see either one of them at any point unless it's garbage time.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the season, but I don't know.
Let's play with Marcus. Let's go. Let's get it done.
Like I think it is something to be said where it's just two different players at two different points in their careers. Obviously,
yeah.
Where Mariota was the second overall pick. You know what I mean? So,
the deal.
I think maybe he may be holding back, but it's just like, bro, like I need you to hit somebody, like, and then where McKee is like, I'm playing for a spot. I'm trying to get up on the depth chart. It's a long shot, it is, but once again, preface by saying like, yo, let's hope we don't see him. So, get to some of these comments real quick. We got Marshall Lynch saying, "Did you see what Watson called ESP a liar? Did you see Watson call?" I'm assuming he's talking about Shore Parks, and
he's a liar, but like not in this moment.
So PY, I had no idea what provide context.
So basically, ESP is a loser, and he tracks like stats during practices, and he put the stats out there for Watson along with Hurts, and Watson was like no cap or something on Twitter, and he was getting all mad. Yeah. So they were talking about it on WIP.
Cap, not no cap.
Well, I don't care.
It means the difference.
I mean, it's still stupid, and you're still arguing with ESP on Twitter. So I mean, he's the dumb one. But I just think it's funny because they were talking about it on WIP, and they're like, "It's like, what are you doing?" It's like, "Why are you looking yourself up on Twitter?" It's like, everyone hates you. Like, there's nothing positive that's going to be said about you. Like, you're clearly looking for things.
I'm not going to put that on Watson. Like, he wants to be on social media. He wants to be on social media, and he wants to call out a reporter that clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. No one bats an eye when other players do it.
Right.
So, like, I don't think Watson is a dumb.
I mean, and ESP he's a lot to handle. He's
and of course WIP is going to stick up for ESP. Like, and so why is anyone listening to WIP?
Right. But I mean, I get it, but I also get PY's point. Like, there's bigger things you have to worry about. But maybe Watson, it feels like, all right, all that shit is behind me now. I'm a year removed. I've served whatever punishment people say in the public eye perception, and now I can start to be myself again. You know what I mean? So I hope he just has a masseuse on retainer this time. And then
Dynasty says I would normally agree, but with Jalen, I'd rather have a vet behind him. Now trading for Willis would be my move before promoting McKee.
God.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's
You got draft picks for him.
That's interesting.
I
don't think it'll take a lot. But
No, it won't take anything.
I would not give up a single solitary draft pick for Malik Willis.
Of course you would, because you don't like Willis.
I don't think he's very good, which is fine.
He's a
I'll take him. I'll take McKee right now.
He's saying about so you would have what I think what Dynasty is saying you would have Jalen, Tanner McKee, and Malik Willis.
I'm fine with that.
No, is that what you're saying, Dynasty? Please respond.
I'm assuming that's he would. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
right.
I would. The thing is, I would trade. I would be all for, and this goes general, not just the Eagles. Like I think Willis deserves a chance to get to be developed. Like he was a 3rd round pick for a reason. He's a project. He's every sense of the word. He's a QB project. You need any team that really has him has to understand that, and also understand that he's going to take some time. So. I don't think for the Eagles, if you trade for him, you have to trade for him knowing that he's a project, and therefore he's not going to be your immediate backup. I think at this stage, even though he's in the 2nd year, he's still not ready. I think that it wouldn't surprise me if McKee was more ready by then than Willis would be, because Willis needs time. Now, just in a vacuum, would I absolutely take Willis? Yes, because I think he's got great ability or great potential, and he just needs to develop that, and you need patience, and that's what some fans don't have that. Like they're easy to guys like them that you don't QBs that clearly need reps and they clearly need time to develop. Fans are so easy to just write them off and say like he sucks or they suck, but they just need time. Like you have to understand the situation, the type of prospect you're getting before you start declaring whether they're good or not.
Right, and it's all about investing in the future, investing in Plan B. So when you say Plan B, and I get why I may not, but we're talking about Malik Willis and putting minimal resources and minimum capital into someone who eventually could pay off for you. He was almost like what was the kid from Arizona right before Kyler Murray who got drafted the year before? What was it? Josh Rosen. He was Josh Rosen a little bit in Tennessee. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything else changed around him a little bit, and then it's just like, all right, well, you're out.
You're out, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. All I know from the first 6 quarters I've seen Mariota does not look good.
Yeah, no.
I can't deny.
Who doesn't look good?
Mariota.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't look. I think that's not really a surprise if you watch him in Atlanta.
There's no future in Plan B.
This Mariota is, to me, like he is the Mariota that we saw last year with the Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't play Ritter earlier. So I'm not surprised this is how Mariota looks. Ideally, I was good with the signing because ideally you just want him here as kind of like a veteran mentor. And like, how backup QBs are kind of like another coach on the sideline. That's a guy. That's pretty much what you want Mariota to be.
You want a running Josh McCown, essentially.
A running Josh McCown, yeah.
I can dig it.
But with better help.
Anything else from tonight's game so far outside of the poor tackling? Or if you want to talk on that we want to get into.
Well, I want to talk about Sermon.
So preach your sermon, sir. Preach your
sermon.
Swoop. At the end of last year, they had Covey in like the top 10 and top 15 as a punt returner. Like he wasn't special, but like he was way better than people would give him credit for. If I can go get Devin Duvernay or one of those guys, I'm all for it. But as of right now, you're not getting any better.
Duvernay.
I'm not good with names.
Duvernay.
I hope you never do that to a customer. I hope you never do that to a customer when you're trying to sell a car.
All the time. Guess what? They still come in.
Duvernay.
Because it's bigger than you. It's not just about the car.
You even put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
And fast.
What's going on? Like, what's going on with KJ Hamler? Like, where is he at?
Hurt.
He's done.
Yeah. He has some like I forget.
Did he have a heart
exactly
thing?
what it is. It's something with his heart.
Who was
How did he
working
have like
out?
a heart thing and a mental thing at the same time?
Okay. And he said that he had like some heart irritation
or something
Jake,
like that.
You want to read this comment for us?
Oh my!
Yeah, I'll read it.
Paragraph. I feel like a teacher in third grade that just called on you to read.
Yeah, right. That I was going to make that comparison too. Ryan Swope says Sidney Brown isn't an intense hitter. I hope that he will at least be good enough cover guy and not get so focused on hitting that he can't cover or miss a lot of tackles because of wanting to land huge hits. I get what you're saying. I'm also concerned he may be injury prone a lot because being so into huge hits. Love the passion, just don't want him to be injury prone and forgot to cover. No, I know what you're saying, right? I mean, if you look at him during his career at Illinois, he didn't really have an issue when it came to covering. Chuck's did a little more tape on him than I did, but yeah, no, I mean, he's making big. He wants to make an impression, and I understand it. He's a young, hungry rookie who came from, I don't want to say an unfortunate situation, him and his brother who were homeless for a while because his mom had health issues and that whole thing. So that both of them are hungry, but since we're talking about Sidney, since he's here, the kid's talented, the kid's passionate, and I think one of the broadcasters said he's going to become a fan favorite this season, and I really agree. I really agree.
He's your starter.
He's already starting to be a fan favorite. A lot of people, and you kind of, if you studied him, like you kind of knew that he's that type of player that can easily be a fan favorite, and that's why what they gave him, scouts gave him what they call it, a red star,
the red star or something.
Yeah, so like that was you can see that coming. I think.
Oh my God, Eli almost had one.
Yeah, almost had another one. Oh,
Eli almost had one.
What I like about Eli is that his ball awareness and ball skills are good.
He's always there. Yeah,
he knows where the ball is. He has good awareness. So like, that's only going to get better. Now that touchdown, I think that touchdown was more of just like it was a good throw, and I think he was caught off guard and lost his balance. So I mean, I don't.
You still got to make that read.
You do, but I think that's part of the learning process because he also is a rookie. I don't think that. I mean, that's when you're going through the film and the coaches in the coaching. In the room, it's cornerback room. That's going to be a minus, but I don't think it's as drastic of a minus play for him as you would think. Like you can kind of see like he lost his balance and he was right there, so you just got to tweak that. But I think overall, when you see from Rick's reps, is that overall his ball awareness is really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. But yeah, what was I? Oh yeah, with Sidney, like he reminds me. I know he gets a lot of comp to like Talanoa Hufanga. I understand why. I think that Sidney is better in coverage, while Hufanga is a more powerful and stronger player. So that's what I think the differences are. I like Sidney Brown. The comp that I saw is I like him as like a Bob Sanders. Now I hope that he has more durability, or has less durability issues than Bob did, because Bob Sanders was always hurt. But when he was on the field, he was like arguably one of the top safeties in the league. So you just hope he can stay healthy. But like that's who I see the comparisons a lot to. And yeah, I guess you can say also Troy Polamalu. Like but that's stylistically that's who you want to compare it to. We'll see if he if he is anything close to Troy Polamalu, I think we'll be doing backflips. But
yeah.
I love Sidney. I love Sidney a lot. Very, very high on him. But I mean, Trey Sermon, I mean, it looked like in that second quarter after he fumbled, it looked like, oh man, that's a big blow. He's probably not gonna. His chances of making the roster are probably low. And I had said on Twitter, I was like, he's gonna have to score or he's gonna have to run for 100 yards in order to make up for it.
Yep.
Well, a 33-yard touchdown that was really, really impressive is gonna help a lot too. Like that run he had in the third quarter was a very good run. Got skinny through the hole, and then once he's at the second level, that vision to the outside and that cut to the outside was tremendous. And then obviously the acceleration. He's not someone known for his acceleration and speed, but he has enough of it so that he can he can pull away from linebackers, and he definitely made the most of his run there. So that touchdown was impressive. Very, very impressive. It wasn't just some touchdown run where it was a wide open lane and he just ran straight. No, he made that happen. He really created for himself when he got to the second level. So I think he's back to being right in the thick of things with the running back battle. I think that I like that Jalen Hurts, and I know Pete talked about it. Jalen Hurts, after that fumble, talked to him and was in his ear and trying to make sure that he kept his head up. And you love seeing that about Trey, keeping his head up and making a good play to bounce back. So love that. Love it.
Yeah. Dynasty, I don't know. It looks like our kick returners are always slow and stuck in the mud, bro. I don't know I don't know what it is. Ever since Sproles retired, I have no idea. Just,
even then,
I mean, we did have a guy, but
then I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'll take it back. I'm not taking it back. Just not doing it.
We had this guy named DeAndre Carter for a little bit. I wonder what happened.
That made me forget. I was going to say something, and I just forgot. It's gone.
No. Yes, Dynasty. Penny did play. He had a good run.
He had one good run in the first quarter.
Yep. So
one good run in the first quarter. Did Miles Jack play tonight?
No, he hit here.
Is he not? I remember when he first came in, he was playing a lot of reps with the first team, and I guess is that over now? I don't know. I haven't been so when I tell you guys I haven't been following, I really haven't been following. So I know the joint practices Monday, Tuesday. Was there any talk of him in joint practices at all for Monday and Tuesday this week?
Nope. Yeah, they didn't. At least they didn't make it an emphasis to mention him anyway, or any point.
Because linebacker still worries me. It even worries me to the point where we know supposedly Dean is the starter, the play caller. He's playing in the game. I think is that just because he didn't play a lot last year, so this is his first year getting that experience and that exposure.
I think it was also the fact that he was hurt last week too, so they wanted to at least get they wanted him to get at least a little taste anyway. And then I think that one drive where he fumbled the football, that's all you're going to see for him the rest of the preseason. But
okay, he did look smaller out there. I don't know if maybe it's the number 17.
He is small. He is small.
The number 17 just makes him look even smaller. You know what I mean? It's just different. Linebackers aren't the same. I wish it's you can't have studs everywhere, right? You know what I mean? But even Miles Jack, when he came into the league when he was drafted by Jacksonville, he was a fringy safety-esque linebacker, even back in UCLA. But would I love for him to pan out? Yes. Would I love Cunningham to pan out? Yes. Christian Ellis. I think the depth is going to be there, but it's you really don't have a guy, a top tier guy. You know what I mean? We had why's his name escaping me now? Bradham, who had that good 2 years, but even on that squad, I mean, people may not like this, whatever, but Michael Kendricks has probably been the best linebacker we drafted homegrown in the past 10 years.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Really? Not Hicks?
Yeah, but Hicks
I'm talking about from an athletic standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
remember the draft. I remember that draft when, how much hype he had coming out of the draft. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just remember how we picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We could try using Quez on kick returns, Matt. I mean,
not a bad idea.
Totally they need to do something. It's at this point, you have to try to cheat yards anywhere you can, right? And that's you want to try to get a head start on something.
You've seen them try him and a few other guys as kick returners in practice. I just don't think it's going to be anything. Like, if they really thought, like, Quez would be the answer at punt or kick return, they'd make him.
Well, also, but now you think about the depth chart last year versus this year. Quez is probably he was the third wide receiver last year, right? So don't get me wrong, kick return is important, but also losing your third wide receiver is probably more important. So you're going to try to find some way not to use that key cog to your wheel and in something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Quez, the thing about Quez as a returner, and I talked about this last year, if you remember, I don't think Quez is that good at running.
No, me either.
Like, he's a straight line guy. That's what he is.
I don't think he has good elusiveness. I don't think he's like, I think he's like you said, PY. I think he's more of a straight line guy, straight line speed, and I don't.
He's like Schwartz in on Cleveland. Like, Schwartz is super fast, and
Anthony Schwartz, right?
Yep. Like, he's very fast in that sense, where he's going a straight line, but that's it. Like, he's not a great route runner. He's not like shaking anyone out of their pads. It's like Devin Allen on like super fast. You get him run straight line. That's it. Nothing else happens.
Yeah. So Dynasty brings up Ellis's brother could easily lead the league in tackles. He's probably who's his brother?
His brother's
I don't know.
I forget his name. There you go.
Oh, 39. Jesus Christ.
Oh, come
See,
on.
McKee,
help McKee out, yo. Come on.
McKee stat-wise should have like a fantastic night if it wasn't for all these drops.
All these drops.
That's the second 139 drop.
Yeah, yep.
Who is 39?
Deion Kane.
Oh.
And Eli Ricks. They share the number. They both have.
Because I was like, I could have sworn I saw 39 on defense too.
Yeah.
Eli got to rip that jersey off him after the game. Be like, nah, man, you're making me look bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is preseason. I know we saw a comment earlier. Joe Horskowski came at Tom and he was like, "Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy when you have a owner of a sports program who doesn't desecrate, but talks down on preseason football. It is what it is. People have their own things, man. You know what I mean? I mean, luckily enough, he's probably watching. He's probably watching because the Phillies have off. So he's probably watching. It's not good football that we're seeing right now. It's just kind of like, hey, like we need to stop having people go down. I mean, we saw what we wanted tonight out of Nolan Smith. Explosive, got around the edge a couple times. Yeah. I know I sent the video when they had the Von Miller pass rushers summit and Nolan Smith was there. So good to see him absorbing all that information. Yeah. And I think we're definitely in a good spot. I did not know Hassan Reddick was hurt. I did not know he needed surgery. So I mean, but yeah,
there's a thumb.
Is it the thumb on the left?
Yeah, I'm not worrying the slightest.
Yeah, they didn't specify which hand.
Pretty straight, but you know what I mean. It's just still like, and he doesn't really like if his rush style was more power, then yes, because then you have to. But with him being speed oriented pass rusher, your hands is really not going to be on your tackle like that as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he could get people with one hand. That's how good he is.
Yeah, I actually think so. Would you guys, with our linebacker situation, right? Could you see? I could see us having some snaps where Reddick and Smith are on the field at the same time, but one of them is in the actual and that's Reddick could be on the line, but I could see Smith being further back, maybe towards a natural linebacker position.
Yeah, because they played around with it in practice. I could totally.
And I didn't even know that. People, I'm just looking at Smith's pursuit. Yep. He doesn't give up on the play. Like we even saw on the play he got hurt on. Right.
So one thing that makes me really excited about Desai as a play caller is the fact that obviously you're going to play your stars, you're going to play your important players. But he's going out of his way to find roles for his young guys, guys who might not play as often, whether it's Nolan Smith, whether it's Jalen Carter, whether it's any other guy. Like last year, he would have found ways to get Nakobe Dean on the field. He would have found additional ways to get Jordan Davis on the field. Like, that's just my gut feeling. Like, I could be 100% wrong with Desai, but
I think that's because, and Chucks and Jay can attest to this, is that's from his history in Seattle. Seattle, he had no studs to really work with. He had to make it work with younger talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even when he was at his time in Chicago, the same thing. Like, he never had this many studs to play with.
So,
and I think they were top 5 in sacks. Chicago was that year, I think.
Yeah, that was Hakeem Hicks year.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, not Hakeem Hicks, Robert Quinn. Sorry.
Yeah, and he had below average talent for the most part, aside from Robert Quinn. But it's just.
So is this the most, like, in recent years? Is this the most talent like a first year coordinator has got to play with?
I'm sure there's better. I just
Well,
can't.
there's been better.
Good question. I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, I'm sure there's.
There's been better.
Mr. Wing asked, "Why can't the Eagles get a good returner? Watching other teams most have."
We don't have a bad returner.
Yeah,
we don't have a returner.
We don't have like. I wish we had a standout return man. Like I know what Covey did, but like Covey was solid. Now, like,
wow.
Oh my
wow.
God.
This is my God.
Thank God it's preseason. Oh my God. Thank God it's preseason.
Jesus Christ.
Like I'm all up for I'm all up for getting better at the return spot. My question to people will always be, who are you getting? Like if you don't want Covey, who is solid, like, who are you replacing with?
Well, I think right now it's kind of too late to really address that unless you trade for someone. But I think the issue is this has been a thing that I even, like, me and a lot of other people, we've been talking about it for years. And like, I wanted it addressed in the beginning of the offseason. Free agency, like, make it not like a high priority, but make it one of your priorities to say, like, hey, like, if we're going into free agency, I've been seeing some.
Can you? I said it. I said I would take Carson right now. Because I'm gonna get to have so much fun with it. Like, can you imagine? Like, oh my God,
Carson wouldn't go near here.
No, he would not. There's no.
Come on! Just give him a little phone call and see what happens.
No, he ain't coming here.
This locker room culture would eat him alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go near here.
I don't know. I think he's desperate to play right now.
It's more of the thing that, like, they ignore it. So when it gets to this point, it's like you don't have anyone that's outstanding who can really change the outcome of a game with one good return. We haven't had one since Sproles. Like, it sucks, but I guess it is what it is. Like, we can't.
I just think I think they like Covey, and if there were better options out there all off season, they would have got him.
No,
and
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
There
are better options than Covey.
Who are these better options?
I can go back and you could have gotten other, like, DeAndre Carter was a free agent. We were talking about
he should have never left here in the first place.
No, he shouldn't have.
So
should have never left.
Right off the top of my head, that was like one of the main ones we were looking at. So there are better returners out there in free agency, early in free agency, but they don't prioritize it. They don't prioritize it. They're good with settling with decent. So that's why Covey and whoever else is going to be the kick returner.
Was there an update on the Smith injury?
He's fine. He looks like he's fine.
He came back on the sideline. He was smiling and he was fine. He didn't have anything wrapped up.
When he was walking off, he was smiling and laughing.
He was joking with the trainers, so he was fine. Aside from the Eagles, real quick, Joseph Orakowski has a good question. He said, also, Amari Cooper or Calvin Ridley, who do y'all think has a better 2023?
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley.
I love Amari.
Absolutely. He also has, that was a continuation of this question. He said he's got the third pick in his 12-team PPR draft, assuming Jefferson's gone. Go McCaffrey, Chase, Eckler, or Kupp at 3. Ooh. I would go Chase.
Yeah, I would too. I would go Chase.
I would rank him as this: Chase, McCaffrey, Eckler, Kupp.
Yeah. Just because of Kupp's injury history. He's been he's
Who
gotten
his
hurt
quarterback
quite a bit.
is.
His quarterback,
Yeah, that too.
who and McCaffrey, I put him below Chase because McCaffrey also hasn't had the best injury history either.
Yeah, nope.
So yeah, I go Chase.
Yeah, in that situation, I'm going Chase. Because when everything is all said and done, they're probably not re-signing Higgins, and they're going to put all their resources into Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and Burrow still hasn't gotten his contract yet either, so that's going to be he's going to get so much money.
What is it?
So much money.
Moro Jomo's hurt.
Yeah.
The kid, the seventh round pick.
Yeah, out of Texas. Yep.
He's so good. That's what sucks.
Yeah, everyone's getting hurt. Good Lord.
It's just in this right now.
Well, the good thing is
pretty serious too. So
bottom of the roster guys. So like,
yeah,
but there's like
no disrespect, but like
there's talent in this kid. Like,
yeah. He was like 4th, 5th round.
Well, I think they said what's his name? Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name from NFL Network?
Is he has something on his neck or his?
He like slid. I think what happened was he slid down awkwardly. I think that's what happened.
But they still have his helmet on. Like I don't know. They have him immobilized. Like it's not like when it's a lower body injury where they have the cast on. They have him set up.
Unless he hit his head or something. I don't know. Unless he hit his head or something. I have no idea.
Dynasty says I hate having early picks this year. LOL. Give me 5 to 10 so I can set the double running back. Dynasty, and this goes for Joe too, or anyone that is playing fantasy football. If you are doing redraft, you're not doing keeper league or dynasty league, which by the way, dynasty league is the way to go. If you're playing fantasy football and you want the best kind of football there is, do dynasty. But if you're doing redraft, then if you're doing snake redraft, you're doing it wrong. Auction is the best format. Auction is the best draft format because you don't have to worry about picks. So if you're doing redraft, go auction. If you're not doing redraft, then go to do dynasty.
Yeah,
dynasty leagues. Dynasty leagues are so much better because it is as close to being a GM as you can get because you're getting players for the long haul, long term, and you can trade future picks. So, dynasty.
Whose mom is that?
Whose
mom is that? I saw that too. Whose mom is that?
She knew the camera was on and she stood up.
She got up real quick. So, okay, I gotta look at it.
That tank top ain't moving, but Lord, maybe I lost my train of thought real quick.
You're stupid.
Joseph says keeper. He got Ramondre Stevenson in the 6th, Tyler Lockett in the 8th, and James Cook in the 9th. Okay.
So it's crazy. I see people do keeper leagues and they still do snake drafts, which is like,
I know.
You know what I mean? But they can only keep certain picks. I think Chrome,
let's see.
Birds of a Feather alumni, he does something similar as well.
I used to be in that same league with Chrome.
Okay.
Yeah, you do keeper league with snake, and then like every league does it differently. But I'm telling you, like if you're in keeper, if you are in redraft, even if it's keeper, auction's the way to go, and Pete would agree. And if you want something even better, if you want the best, do dynasty.
Auction. If you're doing a redraft for keepers, dynasty. My jury starts my first year doing it. He finally wrote me.
Trust me. Everyone that I've gotten to play dynasty will not go back to redraft now. Like they refuse. Like I can't do redraft. Like I started dynasty, I left all my redraft leagues. So I'm like, I can't do it because the thought of like, oh, I only get a player now for this year and that's it. Like I hate that feeling. I need to be able to say, okay, I'm keeping this guy and I have him for long term. So if he gets hurt, it's okay. I have him long term, and I can also trade for the future. So like if you have a team that is, if your team's like not doing well, you're still in it because you can trade your win now guys for future picks and build that way. Or like you can do so much with it. Whereas in a redraft league, if your team is doing bad, you have no incentive to keep playing. Like you're just like, okay, my team's done. I have no interest. So yeah, dynasty is the way to go. I cannot go back to redraft after I play dynasty.
Yeah, Crump says my last year keeping Cup, Chase, and Debo all together. I have to throw back Cup next year. Oof. Yeah, that's the tough part about it too. Like some guys you don't want to part ways with, but
yeah. Ryan posed a question before this about fantasy. I personally have not had any outside of the dynasty draft. I have not had any like redrafts yet. Our first week, our first show during the actual season before week 1. I have a lot of drafts that weekend. Labor Day weekend, I have like 3 or 4. So,
yeah, I still have to figure out when my drafts are. We haven't even figured that out yet. It's almost the end of August. Well, practically it's the end of August, but
where's our Howie trade?
It'll come. I think it'll come.
Look, man, it's like the annual Christmas gift that your dad always gives you the night before. Like you're expecting it. You'll be sad if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Ryan, he says he predicts Gibbs will be the offensive rookie of the year. We will do in 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks now? No, 1, 2, 3 weeks. Our show right before the start of the season, the NFL kickoff show. We will do our season rankings. Yeah, we will do our rankings. I'm sorry, our season predictions. So we will predict what are and
sorry.
Oh my god! Oh, nice.
Lost it.
Tanner McKee. All right, before we move forward, let's get to our commercial for a second. So guys, listen up. Philly Sports Trips coming at you.
Hey Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
You heard it here first, people. Philly Sports Trips. Check them out for any road home games that you want to travel for your Birds. We travel well, we travel right. So travel Philly Sports Trips. phillysportstrips.com. So
I like that.
As we watch the game, oohs and ahs during the play, so we'll get right into it. Little no huddle. What do we want to talk about?
So football wise, let's see around the league. What has happened around the league? I'm unprepared for this.
Dalvin Cook signed.
Yes, Dalvin Cook signed. Yeah. I have people in my one fantasy league, like they're a little shocked, and they're because they kept reading reports that what's his face? Breece Hall would be ready for the season, and he's practicing now. But everyone needs to understand that just because Breece Hall is practicing and will play doesn't mean he's 100%.
Right.
He tore his ACL, and it was relatively early in the season. He's going to need time before he's back to 100%. Mm-hmm. So the signing by Dalvin Cook doesn't surprise me. Breece Hall is not going to look 100% until either late in the year or next year. So temper your expectations, especially if you're in fantasy. Breece Hall I would not be surprised if he doesn't look the same for majority of the year. Now, this is where being in Dynasty matters, because if you are in Dynasty, if you have Breece Hall, touchdown. Nice. If you have Breece Hall, then it's no problem because you're hanging on to him long term. But if you're doing redraft, I would be very leery of Breece Hall. And I would bump his value down a little bit because he's not going to be 100%. And plus with Dalvin Cook there, he's not going to get as many touches. So, yeah. But that signing of Dalvin Cook to the Jets makes a lot of sense. And it'll be fun to see him on Hard Knocks. Right. I started watching Hard Knocks the other day.
I was gonna say, I didn't know there was a first episode or second.
Yeah, first. Well, I watched the first one. I don't know when the second one comes out. If it comes out tonight, but
I think you caught it.
it's fun seeing what's his face? 2-point good. It's fun seeing Aaron Rodgers on there. It really is.
That man loves the camera. I heard.
It's funny.
It's a breath of fresh air to see like
Smile happy Aaron Rodgers now.
a star QB on Hard Knocks, and even what's his called? Liev Schreiber. How do you pronounce his last name?
Liev Schreiber.
Liev Schreiber.
He even made an appearance. It's like the first time ever for Hard Knocks he made an appearance. There's a lot of hype into this one, and so far, like I like it. It's entertaining. Very.
He's funny. Aaron's funny.
Aaron's funny.
He messes with Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that clip that NFL Network put out, or NFL put out, of them trying to in the QB room trying to decide if it's run or pass. The two plays. I don't know if I saw that one. I watched it so many. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, it is funny.
It's so funny.
So
Martian says, "Did you see Micah get into a fight in training camp?" Yeah, I did see that. I mean, again, it's training camp, so I'm not
training camp, but it's also it's part of the course for the Cowboys, you know.
He's fighting until he becomes a free agent, bro.
Yeah,
come on, baby.
I'll tell you exactly what will happen. He signs that fat extension in Dallas.
Oh my God! Did you see? Yo, like I swear to God. The quote that A2D put out of Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Come on. Stop teasing. Like, do not tease us, yo.
I would love Myles. Oh my God. I love Myles Garrett.
I don't even care if it's him at the end of his career. I'll still take Myles Garrett.
He's so much fun.
I love Myles Garrett.
So this is just something fun that I found. So this is from PFF from like I think a day before they draft. They had a mock, right? Like the last one. They had Carter at 5, Smith at 20, Ringo at 56, Brown at 72, McKee at 83, Ajomo at 98, and the 3 guys who went outside the top 100 were Steen at 108, Ricks at 137, and Mekhi Gardner at 152. And I'm like, 6 of the 7 guys you got, were in the top 100, which is insane to me.
Right. Just goes to show, man, different rooms on draft day.
Yeah, they have different boards. Like, and boards. To be fair, I mean, there have been times where PFF and any other media outlet is going to be wrong. You know what I mean? Because they're drafting for just in a vacuum. They're not drafting based on what the team's needs are and what their teams are. So, yeah. But I think we all knew that a lot of their picks were very good value picks. Very good value picks. So I'm definitely pleased by that. Around the league, what else has happened around the league?
Around the league, I'm trying to think. Nothing that I can think of that's like major.
Yeah, it's
been relatively quiet.
Yeah, I know that Zeke, the fat Ewok, signed with the Patriots.
Oh, there it is.
So yeah, the fat Ewok. I can't believe you guys wanted him. Oh my God.
No, I'm definitely not as harsh on him as you. I mean, jeez.
We also knew what he was going to be. Like, he was going to be a deaf guy. Like, that's
he'll be a Woody. He'll be what LeGarrette Blount was for the Patriots at his last year. He'll just be a touchdown guy.
Don't disrespect LeGarrette Blount like that.
I mean, he had like 900 yards last year. That's probably what he'll get on the Patriots.
Disrespect LeGarette Blount.
And you know, New England doesn't really know how to use running backs. Martian, this is the second time he's asked this, so I want to address it tonight.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the case from last year for Judy, that case was dismissed. If that's the one
I think it was dismissed. Yeah,
it was dismissed in May of last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's in a good spot, but I mean, they have interest. They lost Tim Patrick for the year with Achilles. Cortland Sutton's still there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the wide receiver depth looks like because we all know that Hamler's he has his own issues going on.
Yeah.
So, but Dolchich should be good. Sean Payton should look good.
Yeah, Dolchich.
Eli Ricks again making plays.
Woo! Make the team, Eli.
I
hope he does.
do want to say I did see Miles Jack was on the field for the fourth quarter in this game, so I don't know what that means for his future. So
interesting.
I mean, the chances of him not making the team were still pretty high. I mean, there were
Well, I don't know how he fell so far from grace like that.
Because he's not injuries made him not as athletic, and that's what his game was built around early in his career when he was one of the top linebackers. He was explosive, he flew around, and he had top athleticism. But when you're hurt and those injuries take away that athleticism, you're just a small linebacker. So that's kind of what happens, unfortunately. Which sucks because Miles Jack, I mean, when he was good with the Jags,
he was real good.
Oh my God, he was so good. He was so good.
He was one of the reasons why they had him in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yep. Okay, and to be fair too, they just showed him like Kayvon Wallace hasn't been bad either.
Wallace, they said he's been making plays in camp too. So
yeah, he hasn't been playing bad. So like that's a good thing because he's like a core special teamer, and if he can give you at least just value as a backup safety, that's a bonus. So like it's good to see. So if you here's a question to pose for you guys. If by the end of his career, Kayvon Wallace was just because what round was he picked? Fourth round?
Fourth.
Yes.
Fourth round.
Yes.
If he ends up being just a really, really good special teamer and backup safety, you think that pick was a boom or bust?
Bust.
Yeah, bust.
See, I think that pick is fair value.
No,
just because like there's still a lot of value in the fourth round.
That's but if you're talking about a core special teamer who when
you say core, are you talking about like Matthew Slater like type of core special team?
Who else was Maragos?
Oh, okay.
It was like Maragos and like
okay, so you're talking like that kind of level. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of level of special team.
Yeah, but when they drafted him, they weren't expecting that. Like most people when they drafted him, they're like, "Oh, this is a future starter." Like
they had Dawkins speak on his behalf. Like I mean,
I do remember that.
I get that, but at the same time,
expected to be a second round pick.
At the same time, the expectations versus what you still get, like that's what I'm not saying it. That's why I didn't say a boom. I'd say fair value because most of the time when you get to the fourth round, you're on the fringe of, okay, is this guy a starter or is this guy just like, high level backup? And if you get a high level backup player or, high level special teams guy in the fourth round, I think that's decent. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's horrible. Right. I think that's fair value. And I would say that, it turned out to be okay. And Dynasty agrees. Not boom, but not a bust either.
Yeah, he was just solid.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think people like PY, they don't realize that Kayvon actually didn't do bad toward the end of the year. He really didn't play that bad. And
this is his third year or fourth year?
Fourth.
Is it fourth?
I think it's fourth. Yep.
It may take him four. I mean, but he had depth behind, like he had people in front of him.
Yeah.
Even at, the safety position. We tried. I mean, we got Sydney, but we tried to land other players this year in free agency and in the draft at the safety position.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He's on a milk carton, dude. I
don't know where Don
was he in the chat last week?
I don't
remember him being in the chat last week.
I haven't seen him in the chat for other shows either. So
I hope he's all right. Prayers up to Don now, whatever's going on, man.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
I hope it's just a work schedule change or something like that. But hopefully you're still listening on all your audio podcast streaming platforms where you can catch anything A2D related.
Nice, good tackle.
So,
hey, look who had the good open field tackle.
Yep.
Who was it?
Kayvon.
Oh, Kayvon.
Came down, open field tackle.
This is hold on. I think
not that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen.
So
I'm done.
I'm done. It's time to end the show. Let's end the show.
I'm done. I'm not.
I don't care.
Go ahead, Jake.
This is my no huddle because I've been out on this basketball team now for 2 years. And again, I get it. Like, people are fans at the end of the day. They want to show their support, so on and so forth. Here's what I'll say. I feel bad for people like Tom, Rye, and all the other Sixers fans out here that like actually like genuinely care about this basketball team and they want this basketball team to succeed, even though the organization has given you garbage for
Nothing.
however many years. And again, I say garbage just because it's been the same thing for the past 5 years. They get to the second round, you lose. You get to the second round, you lose. You get to the second round, you lose. And you keep switching over the roster. You keep changing things. You keep
the Cowboys of the NBA.
Yeah, and you keep doing this and you keep doing that. And then there's stuff going on with your general manager. He's making what do you call it? Like fake Twitter accounts and pretending to be someone else. And he gets fired. The only reason he got the job was because his dad was a high-level guy in the NBA, and then he got fired, and then the whole Ben Simmons situation. Like, every year, it's something.
Yeah.
And you don't hear that when it comes to good organizations in the NBA.
Nope.
You don't hear it.
Which is also why ESP is a moron.
Yeah, you talk about, like, organizations like, let's say, for example, like the Bucks. You have Giannis, you have those franchise type of guys, and they're your, what do you call it? Those are your star players, and it is what it is, and Giannis has always preached hard work. And don't get me wrong, Joel has too, but like there's a difference, if that makes sense. Because like Joel, there's a lot of complaining. Giannis is very humble, and he works hard. And but also Giannis came from nothing, so did Joel. But like it's different, you know what I mean? When you talk about Joel and Giannis. But again, I've been out on this team for years. The James Harden situation. I mean, I get people that care about the team, and I understand it, and I commend you that you still care. I've been out on this team, like I said, for a couple of years. This is what the organization is, plain and simple. This is what the Sixers are. It's not going to get better. It's more than likely going to get worse. Josh Harris, I mean, whatever. I don't really care that he bought the Washington Commanders. If you're a billionaire, you're going to spend money to make money. So I get
people
it.
Really care about that? I don't care.
No,
you'd be surprised. Like people on like, social media,
like,
it's insane. Like you can't own a Philadelphia franchise and own like a Washington team. Like
who cares? Who cares?
Who
like,
cares?
Literally,
but no. But like the main thing is they're a bad organization. That's what they are. Yep. The Sixers are just a bad organization from top to bottom, and I said it this offseason. I'm like, they need to start over. They need to start over. Get rid of everything. Bring Hanky back.
I would love it just because.
Isn't he like in Silicon Valley somewhere there?
Yep. I don't know where he's at now.
I would bring him back just so it would give Howard Heskin a stroke.
But I can't with this basketball team anymore. I've told Rye how I felt about the team for years. And that's what they are. They're a joke, plain and simple.
They're a joke.
I feel bad that actually go to the games and spend their hard-earned dollars to go every night, and it's just
flag.
It's a shame, but I mean,
it's not a shame. This is what they are. They're not changing.
I say it's a shame because what this team could have been.
Yep.
They had so many misses when Hinkie was here. You talk about drafted players and even players that we missed out on.
But Hinkie never had him in a bad position from a resource.
Right. Yeah.
But he still had stuff up in the tank.
Yeah. Yeah. And just misses. That's the big thing. Misses. You talk about just the whole Bridges thing. You draft him, and
but there are a lot of things that
not even in the league anymore. And again, I get it. Giannis was like a later round pick. I understand that. That's just they got lucky. But and then you have the Jason Tatum situation with the Celtics. The Celtics just screwed us.
See, it's bad. I don't blame them for that though. The Fultz thing.
I mean, they got
the because that's what we're talking about, right? The trade up.
They should have, but they could have given Fultz more time. But at the same time, the evaluation was done. And evaluation.
What is he like? But the thing is, he's not good.
But the thing is, guys, like hindsight. In that case, hindsight's 20/20 because a lot of people had Fultz as the number one guy. Yep. No one could have predicted that Fultz would have changed his shot and his form after being drafted. Like
right.
You saw in the summer league how good Fultz was at the time. So the pick was justified. I think it's easy in that case. It's easy to go back and say hindsight 2020. But like
Marshall brings up Everett Turner at number 2 too. I mean, I would have traded that pick.
I don't blame them for the Fultz thing. I blame them for a lot of stuff. I don't blame them for the Fultz thing. People
here's my thing, right?
That up all the time. So
it's time to clean house. I saw it earlier. I don't know who said it, but I genuinely have never wanted a star player in this city to leave, and I would not be mad if I'm not.
He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to waste away here.
Yeah,
like this isn't like
I agree.
I'm not on Joel
like this isn't Iverson to where he needed to get out of here because he was in a bad place and we were in a bad place. Like he was like people were like, oh, I can't believe we did that to AI. I said, what are you talking about? Like I'm the biggest AI guy in the world, but he was no showing the fan appreciation nights. Okay, like that's how bad he was trying to get out of this city.
Yeah, I mean,
like, it was just a
toxic like there was a lot of fault on the Sixers organization at that point too. Like,
yes, no, I'm saying there's toxicness on both sides, but like he went above and beyond to be like, please get me out of here. I want to end things on good terms, but you're not making it easy on me.
Yeah. So I think that with Joel, Joel has his faults. I'm not giving him a pass, but yeah, overall, I think
they have not helped him.
Joel for Joel to move on. Like I don't.
Yeah, and honestly, bro, it's like you knew it was bad when they brought Morey in, and they kept Elton, and Elton was cool with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, why are you bringing somebody in over top of me when I'm supposed to be the general manager?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And also that whole time when they're interviewing all these candidates now who are winning Executive of the Year, who were assistant GMs in other organizations under other prominent GMs, and they didn't hire them, and you keep rehashing the same old names. Like, bro, I'm off that, man. Like, man, listen. It's frustrating because basketball is like always my first love, you know what I mean? But it's just hard to watch. And I think, and B's not perfect by any means whatsoever, right? But he deserves better than this.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Harden's, he's placating China against the Sixers.
Go. Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, and now the one person you was like super, like this is Marty, this is the Rockers. This is Shawn Michaels putting Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window.
Yeah. Like screw him, screw Harden. So it's the funniest thing. We had a guy like fixing our electric gate today. He had a Sixers hat on, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're. I was joking with him. I'm like, your hat makes me sad. He's like, yeah. Like even he knew. Like he knew we were screwed. And I'm talking with him. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's not good. If I were you, I would not be watching that team this year. Like you can say what you want. Like I love basketball. But I am more excited for the hockey team because they haven't deserved their name yet. Yeah. I'm more excited for the hockey than I am for the Flyers.
In the span of
I'm more excited for this team than I am for the Sixers.
In the span of a few months, like
the pendulum shifted
so much.
The pendulum
shifted. We're more hopeful about the Flyers than the Sixers.
You know how bad it is that I have to, because the joke is I can't, like, I think the Flyers are a joke and like nobody should give a shit. But like, you know how bad it is that like I would rather spend an hour and a half talking Flyers about me having not a goddamn clue what I'm talking about than to spend 10 minutes on the Sixers.
Yeah. How Pete feels about the Sixers of being like basketball being his first love. That's how I am with the hockey and the Flyers. Like the first sport I loved was hockey, and so Flyers have always been my second team. Behind the Eagles, and I hated for the past several years. I've hated not caring about the Flyers.
Yep.
But at least now there's some hope. But like it's
it's
really bad. If you ask me, like I agree with all of you. I just start the frick over. The only person worth giving a damn about, the only player worth giving a damn about, in my opinion, is Maxey. And I know we disagree, but I think Maxey has like legit star potential. So I'm building around him. I'm building around him and see where it goes. I trade Joel and just start over, build around Maxey and see and go from there. So that's what I would do.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like with trading Joel is going to get you the most pieces back you're not going to get what he's actually worth.
No.
I mean,
but it
what's
starts
his
with,
name got 4 first-round picks, so.
But it starts with you have
anything.
to start with getting rid of Morey and getting rid of Brand.
Right.
Yeah.
Do that first before you touch anything on court.
So they talk about this on WIP, and I think it's an interesting or no 97.5
Why
where
are you listening to WIP?
because I need something to listen to on my way
Listen
in.
to a
Like,
podcast. Look into a podcast.
I listen to what I listen to. Stop getting your panties in a bunch.
My panties are well in the
wow, this one.
Like seriously, like who gives a shit what I listen to? But
I make fun of all my friends that listen to WIP.
okay, that's fine.
It's not
you know
just
what? When you start driving me to work, then we can determine what I listen to.
Is there overtime or preseason games?
I
No.
listen to podcasts all the time.
But their whole argument was like, because everyone's now saying it's like we got to fire Morey because of the Harden thing, and it's like under no like I think Morey should go, but you should not under any circumstances fire him because Harden's being a little bitch.
Well, no, Morey.
But he wanted Harden here.
Yeah, that's more.
That's the problem. He's being a bitch for somebody that he wanted.
Right. Everyone and their mother wanted Harden so bad on the Sixers.
I wanted to trade Simmons for whatever the Halliburton Sacramento.
I wanted that. I like that. I thought that was
too.
I was good with the trade only because it was the lesser of two evils. I wanted Simmons to get the heck out of here.
Yep.
But I remember, you guys know me, and I've said it for so long. I have never been a Harden fan, and like even when we traded for him, I still wasn't a Harden fan, and that even like just exponentially has gotten bigger.
So before me and Jake left our own show, I still remember we had Johnny on. Jake, do you remember this? Where we were talking about the Harden thing, and he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to swap him and Simmons. Like Simmons is whatever, but like he can't finish when it's needed to. And his whole argument is like, oh, Harden's a winner, man. You don't understand.
Nah, Harden's.
He can close unlike Simmons, and I'm just like, that is not the case. That is not the case.
Who do you? So I'll ask you guys this before we start to wrap up in a bit. Who do you, knowing all we know now, who was still the worst Sixer? Was it Ben Simmons?
Worst Sixer or the worst Sixers move?
No, the worst Sixer, just as a player himself. Who was worse as a Sixer? Ben Simmons? Like, who do you loathe more as a 76er? Do you loathe Ben Simmons more, or do you loathe James Harden more?
Oh, Simmons all day.
James Harden.
Yeah, Simmons.
It's not even.
It's not.
You know
even
why?
close.
For me, it's not even close. Is because Simmons was drafted here. He showed you what he could do, and he bitched up year after year after year after year.
Absolutely, Ben Simmons. And I just said how much I do not like James Harden. I still have no regrets. I would rather
the China thing puts it over the edge for me.
I'd rather deal with James Harden than Ben Simmons. And
they brought that up actually, where it's like, would you do that trade? Would you swap them back?
No,
swap him back. No.
Oh no.
I'd laugh so hard.
I'd rather have Harden than Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for Harden, for all the shit he's doing now, just 4 months ago. 3 months ago, 90 days ago, you were playing on Mother's Day in the game 7. 2 of those games, he won you, not the MVP.
Yep.
He won you.
Yep.
So I don't know what has changed between now and then. The biggest thing is they don't have any resources or cap flexibility based on all the other bullshit that they've done. The Toby trade, all the resources they put into that for nothing. For nothing. I mean, that contract that's almost as bad as Bradley Beal's contract. You know what I mean? For nothing. Yeah. It's just, and if I'm Harden, his shoes sell more over in China than they do here. He's way more marketable. Bro, I get it. Do what you got to do. Like, listen, and then I don't know what we can do from that standpoint to cut ties. I don't know what we have going on from a flexibility standpoint. I just wish this shit would have happened before free. Don't even opt in at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you want to throw us hissy fit because we're not going to give you a contract. I'm assuming that's what it's over. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think what happened was, and I think this is where I think Daryl Morey is to blame also. I think the reason that Harden opted in is because Daryl promised him something and promised him a contract or something along those lines. And then obviously whatever happened, or they had some kind of conversation where the promise wasn't made, and lo and behold, now he's calling out Daryl Morey and that whole, I don't know. It's a mess. It's a total mess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
all right. So non-Sixers talk. I am so late with this, but I have to get it out because I finally watched it. We finally watched Guardians, the fourth Guardians movie.
Oh, okay.
Third Guardians
I haven't
movie.
watched it yet. I have not watched
Oh
it yet.
my god. Never mind.
I know what happens. Like I know the sad thing. I know that.
I mean,
I thought I knew what happens.
Okay.
Or I thought I knew what happened, and
I don't think there's parts that you think that you're going to be sad, but ultimately
they weren't. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was. I loved the ending. I thought it was bittersweet, very bittersweet, but it made complete sense the way the ending worked.
Okay.
And I think that James Gunn did again an awesome job, and I think that I want to say also like it makes complete sense the way it had to go about, but man, it's really sad to see that obviously Peter and what's her name? Gamora don't obviously end up together because that's not the same Gamora.
So, and remind that part of it, if you remember the TV show with Zachary Levi, and Alicia, something Australian chick. They used to come on NBC.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that was, where they went through 5 seasons of them, her finally seeing him as they have a romantic relationship, even to the point they get married, all for the end, to where now she's the intersect and she doesn't remember any of that shit.
Wow, that's how that show ended?
Yeah, she doesn't remember any of that. So like that whole time he remembers it all. Now it's her. She like her memory was white. And she don't remember like none of that stuff. She don't remember being married. None of that.
Damn, that sucks.
So it's the same, but not the same.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it was. You know what I mean? And then I mean, and yeah, Jake, I get it. It's 3 months. It's 3 months since it came out, so it's hard for you not to be exposed to the shit that happens. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. But
now, as far as like recent Marvel movies that have come out, where would this rank as like say in the last?
Oh, it's definitely but this one. If you go back, when did Shang-Chi come out?
I don't know.
Oh, it's been that long?
I'm going back.
No. He's going back.
That was 2019.
Okay. Was it 2019? I don't know.
It came out the fall, right after Endgame, I think.
Yeah, it was right before COVID. Yep.
September 3rd, 2021.
That's what. Okay, so that was right before Eternals. So if you go back that far, so you say within the last almost 24 months,
post Endgame,
you post Endgame. So you got
Shang-Chi.
In this order, No Way Home, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The nostalgia, everything. No Way Home.
Shang-Chi.
Probably say Guardians Volume 3 and Shang-Chi is third.
Okay.
I'd say Shang-Chi and Guardians are like neck and neck. You can.
It's super close, but that's your top 3.
That's your top 3.
Okay, I gotta watch.
How many? I wonder how many movies they've actually released in that time frame, or series.
Yeah,
that have not hit.
See, like saying it's a top 3 isn't saying much because they've had so many misses. If I'm gonna go back and say all time MCU, I'd say Guardians is top 10.
This is not. Definitely. I would say this. So let's say this. Where do you rank Guardians as an overall but as a whole, if you put it against all the Captain movies?
Against the Captain movies?
Like this, just in general. If you look, because there's been 3 of them. Where would you rank Guardians, the series versus Thor versus Cap versus
the series, like the trilogies?
Yes.
I still would put the Cap trilogy up top, and then I'd probably put Guardians second.
I love how much Tom hates preseason. I love it. I think it's hilarious. Because people actually like what's funny is people get mad at Tom because he'll post about it, and then people get like mad in his comments. I know what he's doing.
Yeah, you know what he's doing.
I know what he's doing all day, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I would say Guardians is the second best trilogy behind what's his face behind Cap.
Because and I would say Avengers is something different. Avengers is something completely separate. You know what I mean? That's its own entity.
Yeah, it is. It is. And yeah, Jamar 14 Eagle says MCU has been average at best as of late. Yeah. Maybe average is being generous.
Yeah, right.
Did you see the trailer for the Marvels movie?
A new one?
It looks so bad.
It looks so bad.
It's like they just don't have direction. Like, and now for what I'm saying, I can't wait to go see Blue Beetle, bro.
Blue Beetle looks good.
Yeah, but it's saying that the projected what's it called the money it's gonna make is really low. They said it's gonna flop. But
also, and I think that's a time. That's a how can I say this? I think that's a change. I think there's a changing of just how people view movies. Like Barbie's different. Like Barbie is, so let's say Barbie is the exception to the rule, right? Especially this summer. Oppenheimer, great movie for what I've heard. It's 3 hours long. Nobody wants to go and spend 3 hours.
3 hours.
In a movie, like nobody wants to do that. So they're going to want to, if they're going to do that, they're going to do that from the confines of their own home.
I do.
Chuck's like sitting in movies for 3+ hours. I can't.
Mary's looking
I'd rather sit at home. Like I'm like that. I'm only like 29, but I'm like that.
Don't get me wrong. Like 3 hours for an action flick or like Lord of the Rings 2 Towers.
Oh,
or
sure.
Return of the King, different.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer, I don't know. That subject matter can't keep me enthralled for 3 hours.
Okay.
Like Avatar: Way of Water, I just didn't want to go to the movie theater to go see it, but I watched it in one sitting at home.
Was it good?
Yeah,
I watched it. I watched it at the theater. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. Barry was off doing something
at the theater. I loved it.
Marsha said Barbie's the Black Panther for white people. Caucasians forever.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Jesus.
For white
people. Good Lord.
There's a lot of truth to that. But no, like
funny.
Even with but Oppenheimer critically acclaimed, money's not doing so hot, but it's sticking around. I think Blue Beetle is the same, but it's once again it's DC. Like, and then how fast you get these movies coming on these streaming services that you already pay for. That's the other thing. Now there's no motivation, right? There's no motivation for like Guardians. Okay, Guardians came out in May. 3 months later, it's on Disney Plus streaming service, a subscription you already pay for. So eventually, maybe I may not see it right away. And the nostalgia, like obviously the movie theater, the experience, the popcorn and all that shit, that is what drags you in, right? It's average. This is true.
God damn it, I got it.
But no, so like that's why I think the motivation in the movie theater just isn't there anymore because, like, all right, Blue Beetle, DC, HBO Max. You've seen how fast Shazam! Fury of the Gods went to HBO Max. A different quality of movie, right?
Yeah.
In a negative way. Also, Black Adam. That was like 2 months. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this situation, Blue Beetle, which is for what I've seen so far, just from reviews, is a better movie than both of those.
Yeah.
It's probably still going to come to HBO Max. So it's not like you don't have that option. It's not like you have to go to a Redbox and compete with so many other people, right? So you don't even have to leave the confines of your own house. You don't have to spend extra money. It's going to be uploaded on the service that you're already paying for. Yeah. Look at you watched Transformers: Rise of the Beast. It's probably second best Transformers movie behind Bumblebee, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I would say the first one because the first one was just so groundbreaking, right? In 2007. So it's the third one. And in that, what are you putting your thumbs down for?
The first one sucked.
Fuck you. It did not suck. You never seen robots transform.
You know how
I will log
the only good thing about the first Transformers was Megan Fox. That was it. I complained.
But also, what I'm saying, groundbreaking from the standpoint, visually, you saw.
Oh, you never saw anything like it. Yeah,
you never saw anything like that.
Well,
you never seen.
I don't know.
Never seen a 60-something Camaro hit two-wheel motion, scan another car, and come back.
Because of Michael Bay, I couldn't see it anyways. Okay. You can't make out.
You better not say shit else to PY about anything else that he hates for no other reason except for one person in the whole movie project.
Bro, the Transformers movies under Michael Bay, they weren't about Transformers. They were about humans. And you couldn't see anything about the Transformers. Yeah, and in the first Transformers movie, Michael Bay made Optimus Prime look like a bitch. Like it was,
and he never. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. 100%. I'm just saying. I said from the nostalgia standpoint, that's the first one we seen. That's why I just hold it up there. It's better. I mean, the first one's better than Revenge of the Fallen. Was too long. Way better than Age of Extinction because motherfucker was breaking into ice cubes. The Last Night was all right, you know what I mean, but still not the same.
Remember them.
I'm waiting to see a Transformers movie without any humans.
Yes, that's
at all. Like this.
Yes,
no.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So, but we'll hopefully we get. But with that being said, like you saw, so my point was that came out in June. It's August.
Mm-hmm.
And not only can you watch it for free, not only people who pay for Paramount Plus, I told you about it. Just sign up for the free trial. You get full access.
Full access.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, where is the motivation now? So like when people talk about the box office money and all that shit, the box office doesn't stop the first weekend, second weekend. That doesn't mean shit now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because there's other ways where what we call them, not so much networks, but studios can play the long. Back in the day, yeah, you had to play the short game, right? Like you had to play the short game when it came to the money. You had to rely on the box office. You had to rely on the movie theaters. You don't have to do that now if you Paramount, if you Disney because you own this. You don't have to do that if you DC because you partner with HBO. You don't have to do any of that because you can make more money residually, right? So the money that movie can bring in or a project can bring in, the window for that is a lot longer with less hands in the pot. So what I mean by that is back in the day when you had your Blockbuster, when you had Redbox, when you transitioned to DVD, right? You had to pay Redbox, you had to pay Blockbuster, so it was always a middleman. Now you control all that because those contract terms are already set up. So the movie game is different. So like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants of Mayhem, right? Already been greenlit for a sequel. Greenlit for a series, right? And that doesn't have any affiliation with anything yet. So that's a movie to where, like, if you want to go see it, your chances to go see it in a movie theater, right? But even in a movie theater, it's crazy because some of these movie theaters, bro, they don't even fucking try.
No, they don't.
They don't even try. Like the popcorn be lukewarm, shit be stale. Seats be all fucked up and shit. And I'm like, bro, I'm paying you. I was coming to this theater, but I watched Endgame in this theater for like $12. Now I'm coming back 2 years later to stay. It's still the same fucking stain on this fucking recliner that's in there every fucking time. And now $17.
The prices went up too, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The same shit, you charging me $5 more.
Yeah.
Bro, like this, it make sense, bro. Like it's just. So that's why I say, like, when it comes to the entertainment industry, especially when we talk about movies, it's different, and you get pulled in so many different directions, man.
Yeah, like, that's a great point. And Mary and I were people that, pre-Grayson, we were at the movie theater every week. I played for AMC Subs Premiere, where I paid a flat monthly fee, and I could see unlimited movies. So we were there every weekend. Seeing
didn't you get like free refills too? That was another thing.
A lot of perks, a lot of. So like it was like the big reason why the only reason why I miss it is because I'm able to see the movie right away. That's literally the only incentive I have of going to the theater is being able to see these movies right away when everyone else does. But like, if you were to ask me whether I would rather watch them from the comfort of my home or in the theater, the answer is easily at home. You watch them at home and you watch them on streaming. It just sucks that with some movies you have to wait so long. Like, I was trying to look up when Across the Spider-Verse was going to be up on streaming, because it's on. You can rent or buy it, but I'm like, when is it going to be free? And there's no date for it.
But you hear yourself and how the mentality of the watcher changed. 10 years ago, there was no when is it going to be free. It was when is that shit going to be on HBO or something you had to pay for a premium channel. Look how go back and listen to yourself. Rent and buy, bitch, 10 years ago was the only fucking option you had once that bitch was out of the movie theater. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly what I'm saying, because we're already paying for the server, so I don't want to pay. Depending on the movie, I don't want to have to pay.
If I'm not mistaken, the first one, Across the Spider-Verse, isn't even on Disney. That's on Netflix. If I'm not mistaken.
And wait, isn't the first one Into the Spider-Verse?
Into whatever it's called.
Yeah, the first one. I think I don't know where the first one.
I think it's. If I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn I just seen it on Netflix. I don't. On Netflix, okay. It's not on Disney.
Yeah, no, it's not on Disney. It's not going to be on Disney.
Right.
It's not. Yeah. Yeah. Angry Bear says DCU is going to fail hard. Blue Beetle is a level 4 character, and you're rebooting with him instead. Good Batman stories like Nightfall. I disagree, Angry Bear. I think James Gunn, I trust. Right. I trust James Gunn. James Gunn has shown with the content that he's put out so far, they are very good quality. And I've said, and Pete knows this, we've said this for years now, DC just has to focus on making good movies. That's all they have to focus on. You make good movies,
right?
People are going to watch.
And that's in general, because look at what Gunn did. Nobody knew who the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Yeah, no one knew about them.
People knew about Iron Man. I know he didn't have anything particular to do with Iron Man, but this whole level 4 level, this character and all that shit, you can jack off with that. And if the movie's fucking good, and you're doing Blue Beetle, you know how many fucking little kids now are going to be running around with Blue Beetle shit to want to be Blue Beetle for Halloween?
For Halloween, yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it. Don't get me wrong. Is it the best idea? No. But here's the other thing too. You can't come out with another Batman if it's not Rob Pattinson, in my opinion.
I agree.
They will.
The Batman.
Oh no, they definitely will.
How dark that was. You can't. And what Gunn is doing and what that was, they haven't found a way. You can't come back at me with Ben Affleck as Batman again. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I understand what they just did with the Flash, Michael Keaton, nostalgic, and all that. Still, I think they could have found somebody better than Ezra Miller. Storyline was all right. But missed opportunity there, right? And they still had to go through with the project. But I think Blue Beetle is so far from what DC was and what DC has been, and it's such a different character, and the story is different as an origin. It's not going to captivate everybody, right? But I think he's trying the same playbook he did with MCU, what he did with Guardians.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, like. Let's not front. Peacemaker was a hit.
That's what I was gonna say. Peacemaker. I didn't even know about Peacemaker. I'm like, who the hell is Peacemaker?
Exactly.
And I watch. I'm like, this is a great show. And like, when you watched Suicide Squad, Gunn's version, you watch and you're like, this is freaking Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it's the tone, the everything, like the comedy, the type of comedy, the characters. It's Guardians of the Galaxy, just DC version. And it was amazing. So like, again, you just have to make good movies, and I think Gunn deserves the benefit of the doubt. I think that Blue Beetle, it doesn't matter like if he's familiar or not. A good movie will make him familiar. Right. A good movie will make him familiar. So I don't believe. And I know a lot of people. Martian says DC has always been about Batman. Batman's always been the face of DC, but you do have characters that can
carry
build off. Marvel has always had, before the MCU, they had their frontrunners. They had X-Men with Wolverine, obviously Captain America. but like we've gotten to really like other characters because of how good the movies and the shows were. So it's the same thing with DC. Just make good movies. Just make good movies, good shows, and everything else will fall into place. You don't have to have so much continuity. You don't have to build a great big universe that's connected. You just have to make good
and that's
movies.
where we become spoiled because MCU wasn't no MCU, but it was just Marvel movies. And then they start tying all the shit together. We didn't have to sit here and wait for post-credit scenes all the time. My boy went and saw the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and said, stay for the post-credit scene. That wasn't the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once the credits hit, you did what you did. But you that's a very good point that you made when you speak about how the continuity doesn't have to be there. And honestly, DC always been about Batman. Yeah, but I mean, I would say Superman's not that far behind. And right now, you're seeing the rave reviews for My Adventures with the Mighty Superman, the HBO Max animated series, because it's not anime. I don't know why you're saying anime. It's just animated, but it's really good. You know what I mean? So, origin story, that's where this is where you put yourself into a corner, right? Yep. You put yourself into a corner when you're DC because you had to do all these origin stories. You've had so much the opposite of continuity. I don't even know what that word is, but I'm just going to say the opposite of continuity because my vocabulary just is not working at 11:20 at night on a Thursday. But the opposite of continuity because you had so many different characters in that role. You treated the Batman role like it was James Bond. Like they never looked this far ahead to think that they can have something this concise. And honestly, Marvel, let's be real. If Marvel was putting out movies 20 years ago for Captain America, it's like, so let's say, okay, Batman comes out. Michael Keaton's Batman. What that came out 89? The first one?
89.
89? All right, so let's say, okay, boom, we can do this shit with Captain America. What if a Captain America movie comes out in 1990? You think the same person that played Captain America in 1990, and then boom, boom, you think they would have stopped at one? No, they did the same shit. So MCU is looked at differently because they're so young in this action hero comic book shit, right? For DC, because once again, anybody you can at me all you want. When you was a kid, bitch, it was DC over everything.
Yeah,
X-Men, MCU, cool. That's you had it. Spider-Man, all that. But listen, it wasn't nothing touching the Adventures of Batman. I'm still waiting. I swear for God, I would mark out if they ever did a Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that to me, that's the best bat suit hands down ever.
Because it can fly.
There's nothing that can beat that, right? So you have all that, the breaking of Batman, with all like just the comic books and all that. And I understand, but it was DC was ahead of MCU, and it was DC's licensing out this, and this. And it was just MCU coming in and Kevin Feige having a vision like, we're going to buy all the licenses to all this shit.
Yep.
So we own all the intellectual property. So we're one voice for this, for all these characters. And then we can draw them, we can tie it all in.
But even that was late. Because remember, Sony and Fox bought out Spider-Man and X-Men. So even like the early iterations, like X-Men came out, Spider-Man came out, and like the MCU was still nowhere to be seen at that point. It still took a little while for them to claim their universe. So like it wasn't even like anything even that far back. Like other companies, other movie studios were trying to just build their own still at the same time before MCU came in.
Right. And DC can do it because Angry Bear brings up a very good point when he said Marvel has always been Spider-Man than everybody else, right? Which is true.
Yeah.
Let's not forget in Captain America Civil War, when they introduced Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield just had his 2 movies.
Yes. Yep.
And you see it. So it's tough, it's difficult, but if you can do it, it can be done.
Yeah.
Like you can have, I don't know how you would do it. Who did the Batman with Pattinson?
The director?
Yes.
Hold on. I forget his name. God, hold on. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Matt Reeves.
Okay, Matt Reeves. So theoretically, And now I know we would pop, but like, say you relaunch Superman, right? And honestly, I don't know why Cavill doesn't want to do it. What have you? To me, Cavill still look wise is the perfect Superman.
Yeah,
fucking chin. I don't know how the dude does it, right? But say if you just pop in and you just somehow you see Pattinson with Cavill, there you go, right? It's tough, it's difficult, and it's an uphill battle because you had so much opposite of continuity, and I'm still going with that. It's just going to fucking stick for tonight. I'm actually probably going to Google what is. I don't know what it is. Right now. Somebody, fam, help me out. You see me out here struggling, right? And I usually don't struggle when I need to articulate. But that's it's different. But it's so much, like Angry Bear said, it's so many untapped stories. You feel what I'm saying?
It's the first word that comes up on Google for opposite of continuity is discontinuity.
Okay, there you go.
Discontinuity. It doesn't even sound like a word.
It doesn't.
Discontinuity.
But I mean, I think we're going to get, I know sometimes I'm a sneaker fan, so we get shock drops of shoes and whatever else like that, right? I think they're going to shock drop Ahsoka. The way they keep talking about it, like streaming soon, where it's just going to be mass hysteria in people's homes. Because right now, Chuck, if you saw something that said Ahsoka's dropping tonight at midnight, all right, listen, Mary, you go do your own shit, or she be right there with you. And you be there. That's where you're gonna be at. That's where you're gonna be at. You can go into work tomorrow tired, scratch your eyes. But I think that's what, because we never seen them do this before. I don't remember the last time a Star Wars series didn't have a firm date, or a Disney Plus series didn't have a firm release date. They keep hitting that.
No, it's next Wednesday.
It said next Wednesday?
It is next Wednesday.
Oh.
Well,
see, I don't know why they still say, why you telling me streaming soon then?
23rd. When they came out with that trailer on Sunday, it said 10 days until Ahsoka.
Stupid. Yes, I want the purple ones. I want the purple ones with the stash bag. Don't ask me what I'm stashing, but it's a stash bag on that bitch in the shoe. Yes, all day. I can't wait for whatever this. What is the next one called? The next Miles Morales, but they already said the name.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
They
already came out with.
It's coming out in March. I know that. I think it's coming out in March of 2024.
Oh, that was quick.
Bro, you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I heard it's really good.
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
March 29, 2024.
Who's excited for MW3? I have no idea what that is.
No.
What's MW3?
Call of Duty. No.
No.
I'm done.
Bro, these games, I know I'm done playing sports games or shooting games with other kids when I saw Kyle Brandt get trashed by his son. He had the Dolphins, and Kyle Brandt's son had I don't know what his son's name is, had the Eagles, and he beat that bitch 100-0 with the Eagles.
Yeah.
100-0. How do you not score 0 points in Madden?
Yeah, I don't know.
0.
Wait, I thought Kyle had the Eagles.
No.
Was you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because he said had to show him a lesson or something like that. Like,
I can't. Even then, I can't unless his son is like 6. If his son is 6,
his son isn't that young. I remember him talking about. I forget how old his son is.
All right, so Modern Warfare 3. I guess it comes out
9 years old.
Okay, so maybe
and Kyle was the Eagles because he says sometimes the boy needs to learn that life isn't easy, and then he has the Eagles.
I'd have threw the controller on my dad, man. Fuck this game. Fuck you in this game. I could get in a whole debate about what platform to play it on. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. Like, it's just some of these games. I know a dude at work. This kid is 24 years old and has carpal tunnel already because he plays like the way he plays his controller. He plays it upside down, so he plays it like this.
I do know people that do that. Yeah,
he plays it like this. So he already has like that big ass the mouse that has a big ass red optical ball.
Yeah.
To take the pressure off your wrist. And this kid is like 23, 24 years old.
Jesus
That's crazy.
That's how you, bro. Like, because honestly, this is the first. These kids now, I say anybody 20, I say 25 and younger, they don't know life without shooting games, first person shooting.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't know that GoldenEye. Then you had Metal Gear Solid. I'm probably missing a couple.
One of the
other on
goats.
PS1, PS2. I mean, Resident Evil came out, and that all. Then when the first Xbox came out, that's when you really got started. That's when Halo came out.
Halo, yeah.
And now, first Xbox now be this year be 22 years old.
Oh my god!
Because it came out in 2000. It came out in 2001. I remember being at Deptford, Best Buy, waiting in line. Like I didn't even know I was going. What I was doing there. Oh, was everybody here for Xbox? Whatever. Waited in line. Like, Mom, bring me my money from out the shoebox. Like, this is what I'm getting myself.
Remember the midnight releases at GameStop? That was
what?
Midnight. Listen, that's something that I know some places still have them, but when all the game stores close, that's going to be. Those were the best because I remember my store. We used to have tournaments.
Right.
Like they used to have tournaments to give out prizes and just help pass the time.
Yeah.
But stuff like that was the best. Like people would camp out and the whole thing, and nobody cared. It was a different time back then too.
Yeah. And even now for me, like I've been waiting for Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 5 came out, I want to say 2018, 2019,
something like that. Yeah.
And waiting for Street Fighter 6. They kept pushing it back, got it, bro. Paid $70 for $80 for not the base version, the next one, but not the middle one.
Yeah,
I played that bitch like an hour.
Yeah,
because here's my problem. I still go back to I'm playing it, and I'm playing against. I know I'm playing against somebody younger who hasn't played this shit all the time, and it's not like they whoop my ass. It's just a struggle, and I want to be like, you know what, man, fuck this. Let me put this in the cabinet. And give me the 3-person, give me the 3 top, and give me the 6-person, the 6 keys with the joystick. Let's go. And then the kids will lose their fucking mind. They wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's different. But even like now, the nostalgia part about it isn't even sticking with me that long anymore. You know what I mean? I got no habit, bro. I literally right behind me. You can see the TV. I'm in my main TV family room, great room, whatever you want to call it. Xbox Series X is up there and the PS5. You know what I'm saying? Like, and them bitches just don't, by me, they don't get turned on. You know what I mean? Right. Like my daughter sits out here, she plays GTA or whatever else on the PS5, or she'll play whatever game she wants on the Series X. It's different. Like I may play the game I play the most when it comes out is probably 2K. Okay. Because that's still played in the same format to a certain point. Like it's still press the shoot button, pass, you do all this other shit. But then when they want you to, I remember when they went to like the burst, you got to hold the right thumbstick, the dunk. Like, bitch, why? Like, why am I making Jordan?
That
why
was
Jordan in 99? Like, why do I need to do all this shit to put my tongue out? You feel what I'm saying? Like, but
I remember.
I'm done with my diatribe. I'm done.
I know. I hear you. I still don't have a game system. So
I mean, you probably can get Gray switch now. Speaking of Gray, did he or did he not just turn 3?
No, he's turning 3 in 13 days.
Okay, I knew it was coming up.
Yeah, 13 days, and he's going to school. He's going to preschool this year.
Oh, nice.
We are a little freaking out about it.
Is he gonna ride the bus, or you got to take him?
No, we're taking him.
Okay. I can see you now. Riding him on the bus, you would be a mess.
You would be a mess
dropping him off.
Oh God! So I have off the week that he goes to school, so I'm gonna be there for his first day. I keep telling Mary, I'm just gonna wait in the parking lot while he's at school. This is the first day of school. I'll just wait in the parking lot in the car. That's fine.
That's all day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what? Preschool's what? 3 hours? Preschool's
6
what?
hours.
3-4 hours? 6 hours?
6 hours. 4
Oh wow!
hours, yeah.
4 hours.
Okay.
So, like my daughter, my baby, she like it hit me this year, just this week. She's the last one in high school, and her senior pictures were Tuesday, and then my wife sent the senior pictures. Like, oh shit! Like this is we've been through this 4 times, And it's like, this is after this time next year. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. And it's different. I had that a couple of times with my older kids because they just don't need me as much anymore. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just, it's good. It's the product of doing a good job. Because they're not self-reliant, but it still don't make it any easier. It's not like I'm sitting here like like I want him to go back. No, I don't want you to be fucking dependent on me for forever. You know what I mean? Hey, so my son turns 20 in 25 minutes. Enjoy it now. Yes, it does. Happy early birthday to your son, Andy Bird. Love the blue, the little baby in the avatar in the picture. But yeah, bro, it does. It feels like it flies by, man. Like I don't even like. Honestly, I can remember you were married to celebrating Grace's birth. Now it's 3 years later.
That's 3 years later. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
time. Jake, you'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of wish it on people, then I don't wish it on people. I just
right.
Jake, how old are you now, Jake?
29.
Yeah, you'll get there soon.
Yeah, just become a father before the age of like 35.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
You don't want to be chasing that little shit when you're like 42.
Don't want to do it.
No,
oh my god.
I don't know what we're going to timestamp. Listen, generally Jake is up to Jake to clip the show. That hour and 27 minutes when we read that Barbie clip,
that was fun.
That may go on the Laws of Fame. I don't know if we can use that as a sports clip, but we're gonna save that. So thank you, Martian. Thank you, Angry Bear. Thank you, fam, for rocking with us. Whoever's still rocking with us, this is pretty much, I would say this is Birds of a Feather after dark. You know what I mean? We get the main entree out, all sports. Then when we go into no huddle, and especially when we get off topic of sports, it's after dark where we talk about anything but sports. So thank you, fam, for rocking with us. If you're out there, you're going to catch us on any podcast streaming platforms, anywhere you can find it where you enjoy and digest your podcast. Go through the shows. There's content every week, every day of the week, if I'm not mistaken.
Every day.
Pretty much every day. So I won't go through all the shows. Listen, just when you see A2D pop up, you turn your notifications on, turn that bell icon on. Chances are it's going to be something from us every day. Watch it, engage, interact from the shorts to the IG reels, Facebook reels, whatever we do. Jake is a part of that. He works really hard along with Ryan and Andy behind the scenes. Obviously, Tom, all the other on-air hosts here that we have. We love y'all. Thank you for rocking with us. Charles Kent, the Glasses crew, the Glasses squad, GQ, Birds of a Feather. We are out of here. Until next week, everybody be safe.